morning, everybody. Welcome to CubeFit Energize Your Day here with David. Make sure you got a little bit of space around you. We're going to start moving, but actually before we start the movement portion, you're going to join me. I'll invite you to join me just down on the ground or in a seated position, wherever you're comfortable. We're going to actually start with a little bit of stillness here this morning and change it up a little bit. So I'm going to be down on the ground, cross-legged, and then I just have my hands kind of falling forward right here. You could be standing as well. Just gonna do a little postural reset right here, and then we'll start with some light movement, then we'll get into some more bigger global movements here. So first thing, just make sure that your head and neck is tucked back so everything is in alignment with that cervical spine. So if you were to look at my side right here, I'm tucked back right here, nice posture. Keeping the shoulders down. So think down right here and back. So they're retracted slightly. And then through the spine, just that flat back per usual, bringing that navel in towards the spine. All right. And when we do all these things, it should be, there's some contraction going on, maybe like 20-25% of if you were doing a plank, but you shouldn't be, kind of grimacing, right? You can be locked in while still having this calm energy here. So we're going to start like that. And then from this position is where we're going to start those neck twists and turns. All right. So I'm going to have you first go lateral flexion to the side. We're going to hold this for a few seconds. Good. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Over and hold. 2 and 1. Now you can get some reps doing those. Just side to side, whatever feels good for you. Something so simple like this, you go such a long way. Just moving around through the head and neck area. People tend to forget about this, are really limited. I see that all the time. Remember that spine, nice flat back. Good, last one here, and then let's go rotation. So you're looking over that right shoulder. I want you to stay in this position. Remember those shoulders are still down and back. Practicing the posture. Good, other side. Hold, and then now we can go side to side. Right. And left, good. Starting off nice and easy here this morning. Hopefully easy. Maybe being in this position isn't easy for you, which is fine. Or a similar position. It's good to talk about those postural resets and some of those cues, but actually putting it in action like we're doing right here can be hard. It's kind of an endurance exercise to stay in a good posture. Good, one more each side. And left, and then we're going to go to that circumduction, so just those big circles around the neck this time. So you're reaching down as far as you can. We're bringing it all the way over. Slowly feeling out each portion. Note what it feels like, these sensations here. So easy to go fast through the motions of all this stuff. Good, whatever speed feels right for you. Just making sure we infuse a little bit of movement here this morning. And then I'm gonna go one more time back and forth, and then we'll get to some bigger movements. Good. And forward to the stillness right here. All right, let's add to it now. So what I'm gonna have you do is you can stay down on those hips. We have these bent legs here forward, and now we're externally rotating at the arm here. So those fingertips are pointed backwards. I'm gonna have you come up, squeeze the glutes at the top, and I want you to hold this position right here. All right, you're squeezing, and you'll also feel that big stretch through the chest, the front of the shoulder, strong through the arms. Hold for a few more seconds. You got this. Try not to let those hips drop. 3, 2, 1. Good. You can rest right here for a moment, and then we're going to go into our reps using this. So we're going to actively move through this hip thrust and then through this shoulder. So we're coming up, big squeeze for a moment, all the way back down, up, big squeeze. I'm just keeping up with our time. Don't worry about the reps necessarily. Worry about the execution, making it look pretty close to what mine looks like, given your build. And again, experiencing these sensations. Good, 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. You can drop those hips down. And I want you to, again, make sure you have this flat back before we do anything else. All right, and now we can flex forward and we're trying to reach towards those toes. All right, so posterior chain stretch. How far forward can you reach? Flex through that spine, get some length in the hammies here. Simple but effective. I like those kind of exercises and stretches. Good, and then I want you to release it. You're coming back to that straight posture that we're really focusing on this morning. All right, that neutral. And then we're gonna bring our right leg all the way into that hip. And then it's gonna unlock some extra range of motion right here on this left side. And when you reach over to this left side, you'll feel that QL, you'll feel some of that low back. Get an extra stretch as we go one side or the other. Nice work, reach. A few more seconds, you can hold it. 3, 2, 1. Ah, feels so good. All right, so reset again. Nice neutral spine. Making sure we're really deliberate with everything that we're doing today. And then we're going to the other side here. Tuck it in towards that hip. Reach over towards the side. Feel the hamstring. Again, feel that low back around the pelvic girdle. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Reset that posture right here. Practice it for the rest of your day. All right, and then we have one more thing that we're going to do right here. So we stay in that postural stance, and now one at a time, we're reaching these toes up. You're going to feel the hip flex. So if you actually palpate with your fingers on that outer hip, you feel that TFL on each side. Getting stronger right here as you raise up that leg as high as you can. Not a huge range of motion, but as high as you possibly can. Nice work, turning on these key areas. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Release. That's gonna take us straight into our pigeon stretch. Just activated some of this stuff. Now let's go ahead and stretch it out, okay? So I'm gonna go into as close to 90 degrees in this pigeon as I can get right here. Back leg is straight. I'm trying to bring my shoulders forward towards y'all, towards my screen. And then those hips are trying to follow too, not reach over to the side, even though they do slightly. That's okay. Awesome, looking straight forward. Okay, take a couple deep breaths to yourself. Breathe through that diaphragm, through the belly. Good, one more breath in and out. And then we're gonna intensify this just a little bit by reaching forward, sinking into it a little bit deeper. Reach, reach, reach.
I do this, I feel the IT band come into it a little bit more, and then that lateral hip glute med, that's what we're really trying to lock into. Show some love here. Good work, y'all. Release that, and then we're gonna walk those hands back up, go to the other side, sinking into as close to 90 degrees on the front leg, back leg straight again, and we're nice and upright as we get started here. You hear folks talk about some of those buzzwords around movement, like open up your hips. This is kind of what we're talking about here. All right, hips forward, shoulders forward. Taking those breaths in again. I'm gonna take 2 more and then we're gonna reach forward one more time. Okay, walk forward with me here, reach as much as possible. Oh yeah, and there's that outer glute. Two and one. Good job. Now, if you would, join me in a half kneeling position. So we have our right knee down, our left knee up. Now we're shifting from that outer portion kind of to that forward portion of the hip right here, getting into the psoas that reaches up through the hip, through the spine too. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I want you first just to squeeze this glute, make sure we have this straight line, and then we're reaching up overhead. That's our first variation. Core and glutes on, that's how you get the most out of the stretch here. Getting into this complex area, the psoas that people don't know what it is, where it is, how to spell it, but it is important. We all have it. Good, you can release that. And now I'm gonna have you lean forward. So you can take maybe a little half step forward with that foot, and then we're going to lean forward as much as possible without bringing those hands down or anything. And when we do this, I want you to make sure that you're not arched like this. I'm sure before I said that, plenty of people were, that's absolutely fine. But when you stay forward like this, that's where you're gonna get the best stretch, as opposed to putting yourself in this awkward position, getting less of a stretch and more tension on the low back. Good work. Still try to squeeze those glutes just a little bit. 2 and 1. Nice work. All right, that side feels phenomenal now. Let's go to the other side. Left knee down, right knee up. My left glute is on. I have that straight line. I'm reaching up towards the sky. And this feels great. So grateful for movement. Being able to do this stuff. Try not to take it for granted. All right, one more big deep breath. And then again, take that little half step forward with me, and then bringing everything forward. Again, intensifying that pelvic stretch, trying to keep a nice straight back here instead of the anterior pelvic tilt. Just letting my forearm rest on this front leg. Not a stability exercise, range of motion is what we're focusing on. 3, 2, and 1. From here, go ahead and put those palms down on the ground into our high plank position, glutes and core on. Again, I'm never gonna stop saying it because it's very important, all right? So we're locked in right here. Remember to screw in those hands so the elbows are facing back towards your toes. And then go ahead and tuck that chin, just like we talked about. If you're hanging out down here, tuck that chin like we talked about at the beginning of class. Holding on tight. Good, just isometric contraction. Doesn't even take reps here. You're turning all these key areas on. 3, 2, and 1. Raise those hips up. We're going side to side, walking it out here in downward dog. And we're trying to really bring those heels down towards the ground. Plant them. They might not hit, but the further you reach down there, the more the stretch you're going to get in that low leg as we're finishing up here. Three, 2, 1, release, and then you're back into this high plank. Only one more exercise after this. Y'all are doing great. Stretch and stabilize. Strength and mobility is the name of the game here. Good, make sure those elbows are back. We're still tight. 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees. Bring those hips back for this final little stretch here. Good. Last 3 breaths. Filling up that belly and then releasing. Good. One more big deep breath. And release. Awesome job, everybody. Come back up. Nice work. I hope that postural reset helped you out a little bit. And I hope that it's just a gentle reminder throughout the rest of your day of what position you're supposed to be in. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.